We're going to talk about basic filleting of fish. What I'm going to start out with is a basic bluegill. What I like to do is I like to start with a fish with its back to me, okay, and its head in my off hand. So if you're right-handed, the head's going to be in your left hand. Now my partner here in crime is left-handed, and so is my son. So he will do everything backwards today. Right. But I like to do that, and the reason I like to do that is I like to be able to see right down the middle of that back. The best and the most meat on a fish lays right at the top of the rib cage, right down the back. Okay, so that's where we want to make sure we stay to the backbone. I'm going to start you out with a regular fillet knife. Now, a fillet knife needs to have a couple things. Kind of a thin blade that's flexible, and it needs to be real sharp. Okay? What I'll do with that fillet knife is I'll start right on the back of the gill plate, okay? And I'm going to run my knife at about an angle like that down the gill plate, okay? And what I'll do is I'll push that knife through until I feel the backbone. Once I feel the backbone of that resistance, I'll stop. I don't want to cut anymore. I'll take the tip of the knife, I'll turn the tip of the knife, and actually kind of run it down the backbone just a little ways to kind of get the fillet started. Now you see that kind of got the fillet started off the backbone where I found the backbone, okay? Then I'll bring my fillet knife back in and I'll push it through the rib cage and through. And so what I've done is I've gone right down the side of the fish and removed that fillet off that. Now what I'll do is I'll lay my knife at an angle, kind of just with a slight sawing motion with my knife right flat on the board. I better pull that back. I'll take the skin off of that fillet. Okay? So now all I've got left is the skin on that side. Now I'll turn the fish over, kind of come the same angle. And what you're wanting to do is you're just wanting to hold that knife kind of at an angle where you can feel that backbone. And you can see through the backbone. Very little fish left on that backbone. Flip the fillet over, hold the knife flat on the table, and take the fillet off. Now that fish, the meat part of the fish is off there. What I've got left on this fish, in this fillet, is I've got a rib cage on the very bottom, and you can see the bottom of the rib cage. I like to take the fillet knife then, hold it straight up and down, and run the fillet knife right around the edge of that rib cage. And that removes the fillet. Well, these new electric fillet knives have a sharp end. They're just like that fillet knife. They have a flexible blade, they're shaped the same way, and they cut all the way out to the end. Much better for cleaning fish than the old Hamilton Beach turkey knives were. And so let's go over how to clean a fish. I'm going to clean the fish the same way with this knife. Take my knife, and you see I push that knife forward. Okay, you can get that out of the way if you want to. This knife will cut right through it. You know, I don't worry about it. If it happens to move out of the way, it's fine. Take the tip of my knife and just turn it. And I like to run about halfway down the back of that fin right there with the tip of my knife. Okay? Bring the knife back, put it into that slit, then just turn my knife until it starts to cut. And I just let it run right down that backbone. There's no pushing to this. You just kind of follow the knife. If you feel yourself pushing, you're going to cut through that backbone. But you can see there's very little fish left against that backbone. I like to stop at the tail so that'll help me hold the fish. Start in, leave my knife as much as I can at an angle right on the table. Let it run on that table. And just okay. So that's the front side. Once you get the front side done, a lot of my friends have trouble on the back side. Once that flat front side's done, the back side should be the easy side. I come again. When I get right here in about the middle, that's where I'm going to make this little turn. Okay, kind of like I ran down the backbone on the other side, I make that turn in that fish. Bring my knife back, turn it, and just let it run. And that's the fish. And it's not a hard process. You know, it's 1 cut, 2 cuts there, 3, 4 with the flip, 1, 2, 3. It's about 7 cuts on every fish, and then take the ribs out. And the way you take the ribs out, knife straight up and down, come right against the back edge of the, and just follow that rib cage right around.